Dozens of people are searching for a missing hiker in the gorge.
21-year-old Riley Zickel set out on an overnight hike by himself.
Carroll County Sheriff's Office is searching for a missing hiker on the Olympic Peninsula.
Don and Trevor Higgins, the father and son, were last seen Friday. They disappeared while hunting near Bear Camp Road above Agnes.
21-year-old Riley Zickel, the senior at Lewis and Clark College, disappeared.
An emotional plea from friends of a woman who is missing right now in the Skamania County wilderness. She's 19 years old, Maureen Kelly.
Searchers are looking for a 76-year-old farmer who did not come back from mushroom hunting near Grangeville.
Welcome back to the Pacific Northwest Bigfoot Search Missing Persons Unit podcast. As always, I'm your host, Tanner Hoskins, co-founder and lead investigator here at Pacific Northwest Bigfoot Search. And I want to start off by apologizing for the gap in episodes lately. We have received quite a few messages asking about this podcast and about team updates. And the reason behind our sudden gap in online activity is because I am the sole member of the team that handles most of our online activity. And I was out in the woods hunting black-tailed deer in northwest Oregon for most of the month of October and the early week of November. And I'm proud to report back that I won't be eating tag soup this year. I am really looking forward to the many coming weeks and months of processing venison into delicious jerky, summer sausage, and sausage links. Now, after hunting season ended, our family fell ill with whatever is going around these days, and we were sick for about a week. But now that my voice is coming back, I'm happy to be back in my office recording today's episode for all of you. Today's episode is about a missing shed hunter out of the Willamette National Forest in Oregon's Cascade Mountain Range. The Willamette National Forest was established by President Grover Cleveland in 1893 as a section of the Cascade Range Forest Reserve. Later, in 1933, the forest would become what it is today in its current form, the Willamette National Forest. For those of you unfamiliar with the Willamette National Forest, it stretches along the western slope of Oregon's Cascade Mountain Range from Mount Jefferson south to Wendigo Pass near Diamond Lake. It borders Mount Hood National Forest to the north, the Umpqua National Forest to the south. The Willamette National Forest covers 1.7 million acres, with 123,000 of those acres managed by private inholders and other public agencies. The elevation in the Willamette Mountains and steep valleys range from the 1,500 foot level to over 10,000 feet at the summits of Three Sisters and Mount Jefferson. All right, I think that's enough historical background to the Willamette National Forest for this episode. Let's get into the missing persons case. On April 22nd, 2023, Carroll Donald or Don Parkins, a 78-year-old avid outdoorsman from Colton, Oregon, told his family that he wanted to get a bit of exercise and planned to go shed hunting for the day. Don planned to enter the wilderness on the outskirts of the Molalla River recreation area. Shed hunting, for those who are unfamiliar, is the activity of looking for the antlers of deer, elk, moose, and other venison species that drop their antlers every year. This is a very, very popular activity. In Oregon, it is still legal, but in some parts of the United States, this activity is actually illegal. So before you decide to go out and shed hunt for yourself, make sure you know your state regulations and laws. The area that Don disappeared in is known for its rugged, picturesque views and is a popular area for anyone who enjoys the rugged outdoors. This section of forest had also been affected by the Beachy Creek fire 3 years prior to Don's disappearance, which would make this section of land even more treacherous now due to the terrain changes that wildfires leave behind in their wake. According to the sheriff's office, Don was possibly dressed in brown boots, blue jeans, a black and white plaid hickory shirt, a brown flannel overshirt, suspenders, a black baseball cap with an orange bill, or, quote, similar outdoor clothing. Don entered the wilderness at a gate on private timber company land in the area off of Molalla Forest Road.
When Dawn didn't return home that night, Dawn's family began driving the forest roads searching for the missing loved one. Their efforts proved successful when they located Dawn's vehicle at the gate that he had parked in front of. It was at this time that the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office was notified, and at 5 a.m. on April 23rd, Sunday, the official search for Dawn began. During the 8-day search, an average of 47 search and rescue personnel searched for Dawn every single day. More than 3,100 personnel hours were expensed during their efforts, but no sign of Dawn was ever located. What could have happened to Dawn? Officials claimed that while the burned terrain would make it easier to locate Dawn in the area, officials came back later in the search and blamed the burned forest and fallen trees for the difficulty in locating Dawn. And at the end of the 8-day search for Dawn, search and rescue personnel blamed Dawn's disappearance on nearly non-existent cell phone service in the area. Officials believed that Dawn had fallen, became injured, and died from exposure or from a fall, though no sign of Dawn has ever been located. This reason alone is why all of us here at Pacific Northwest Bigfoot Search highly recommend you carry a personal locator beacon with you every time you enter the forest. You never know what can and sometimes will happen out there. Now, the full description of Dawn Parkins is as follows. White male, 5'7", 180 pounds, short gray hair, short gray beard, brown eyes, and wearing glasses. Dawn also has missing portions of his thumb, index finger, and middle finger on his left hand. He also had scars on his hip and both knees. Once again, the clothing description that was given by personnel was Dawn was possibly wearing brown boots, blue jeans, a black and white plaid hickory shirt, a brown flannel overshirt, suspenders, black baseball cap with an orange bill, or other similar outdoor clothing. While we don't have much more information to provide at this time, Pacific Northwest Bigfoot Search hopes that by telling Dawn's story, we can help bring attention back to his case, and with the help of our subscribers, followers, and friends, we can someday bring closure to the Parkins family. We continue to keep Dawn and his family in our thoughts, and we hope that you do the same.